One everyday carry tool that I never really felt like I needed was a pry bar. And recently, it's been kind of a trending item to carry. Now, of course, you could always get a little mini pry bar from County Com, but lately even custom makers have been coming out with their own pry bars and asking, frankly, a lot of money for them. So when Lynch sent me an example of his first run of titanium pry bars, I was honestly a little hesitant. And so what I did is I told him that I would use it for a while, and after a couple months of use of regular carry, I'm here to report my experience using it, and it's very positive. There's a couple different ways you can get a grip on this, and probably the most common way would be using it like a common pry bar and putting your thumb on the flat side. That would enable you to easily access the pry wedge, the nail remover, and of course the bottle opener is something you might hold it in a different position for, and it works quite well in that regard. I have to say, I've probably used it more for that than any other thing. You notice this wide, handsome jimping on the back. This is really reminiscent of Hinderer jimping on my Hinderer Flashpoint. It's very even and well executed. Definitely a finer detail on the knife, and this knife has a few finer details. You'll also notice the chamfering on the handle overall, and of course this deep carry clip. Now this is kind of Casey's trademark thing, and it's executed extremely well here. You'll notice that it's actually seated in the titanium, I want to call it a scale, but just the titanium bar. And what's interesting is he also included a filler tab for that seated spot, so if you wanted to remove that clip and just carry it in your pocket, you could put the screw with the filler tab back in and you wouldn't have an open recessed spot on the clip. It's really a neat detail, which complements a number of other well thought out aspects of this pry bar, especially the chamfering around the edges and the ergonomic grip. Normally I don't care to show kit and unboxings in my reviews, but there's just a lot of nice details to kind of continue on a theme with this unboxing. First of all, Casey sent me a personalized note, and my understanding is that he does this for any of his customers. Here he explains kind of the idea of this pry bar. He's calling it the All Access Pass. This first run was flawed, and I'll show you in a second. It had a spot that was not cut out perfectly in the CNC machine in the lanyard hole. So this is the first batch of 99. The second batch is going to have this issue resolved. Although the flaw in the lanyard hole is definitely technically enough to call it a second for sure, with the little lanyard string on there, it's hardly noticeable. And I just also want to show you real quick, it came in its own plastic bag, and it also came with a separate bag that included both the pocket clip and a little hex tool so that you could install it yourself. So for me, when I got this, the big question was, am I actually going to carry this at all? And I have to say that I am definitely carrying it quite a bit. Here, compared to the small Sebenza and the Spyderco Techno, you can get a better sense of its size comparison. And really, it's very similar to a scale of a Sebenza, about equally long as a Sebenza's scale and equally thick as one of the scales. So just imagine having a clip on a Sebenza scale and carrying it. You're going to not even notice it's there with the extremely light titanium weight. And the place where I always find that it's going to go is in my left rear pocket. It's a pocket I almost never use anyway. So at least what I've found, considering the robust and deep-seating clip, its thin thickness, and overall very lightweight, it goes in my pocket a lot and I just forget it's there. Here I have an obstructures tool. This is the closest thing I have in my collection to a similar pry bar. It's both a pry bar and a kind of clip so that you could keep your keys seated in your pocket. And just notice how inferior the machining is on this clip compared to the Casey Lynch clip. There's just a lot more water jet marks, and of course you don't have the chamfering on the edges. Overall, it's just a lot rougher looking. The bead blasted finish here obviously is holding up a little bit better than the flame anodized finish on the Casey Lynch clip, but aside from that, it really isn't better in any respect, and there's not much of a huge price difference here. I mean, the Casey Lynch clip is $38. You might pay close to $30 for this obstructures and shipped, and the Casey Lynch is just much finer in detail. So when I got back to Casey after using this for a couple minutes, and I did EDC it a lot, but I also used it for a bathroom renovation, which involved quite a bit of prying compared to my normal desk job. I let him know that I loved the flame anodizing initially, but it did wear kind of poorly. I love the clip design. I thought that was excellent. Considering how light and comfortable it is, I really find myself carrying it all the time. So I have to say I've kind of come around. I think that it's actually a pretty useful complement to a folding knife, which, if it's used properly, isn't going to be really used for any kind of serious prying tasks or any other kind of duties that you might use with, for example, a full-fledged multi-tool. This kind of is a minimalistic multi-tool, and to me, it's very useful. So do you carry a mini pry bar in your EDC? Let me know in the comments below. And thanks a lot for watching. Make sure to tell Casey that 555 Gear sent you.